Shalom, friends. We have a lot of Torah from the Piaseczner Rebbe for Chag Shavuot, thank God. So I'll just share one bit of a long drasha from the first day of Shavuot, Tafresh Pei Tet, 1929. That's in Derech HaMelech. There's a lot of subtopics. So I'll just point out a couple of things that I think are relevant to us. One is that he talks about the need to be what he calls unified in our avoda. He says, "Tzrichim liyached et kol habechinot v'madrigot laHashem echad." We have to unify all aspects to Hashem. Now, what does he mean by that? He says that we have to realize that we should not live in a dichotomy between the holy and the profane, meaning, he doesn't say those words. What he says is, I shouldn't think that there's one way of living when I'm in the Beit HaMidrash, when I'm in the study hall or in shul or whatever, and there I behave in a holy manner of serving Hashem. But then when I'm out on the street doing errands or on the bus or going to the supermarket or whatever, so then I'm hefker. I can just do whatever I want. It doesn't matter because I'm not engaged in a holy thing now. That, of course, touches on the fact that we're dealing with this person who's a strong believer in avodah b'gashmiut and serving Hashem in the corporal world as well, that everything has a potential for great holiness. So that's one aspect here, but even without that, it's still a very important, powerful message. And I would add to that even that when I'm out on the street, I'm in more of a context in which I'm capable of either creating a Kiddush Hashem or a Chilul Hashem. God forbid, I can either do a sanctification of Hashem's name or the opposite, depending on how I behave. If I act with menschlichkeit, if I smile at people, if I help people, if I do chesed, the most simple thing of giving a person directions on the street or giving tzedakah, charity, which the rabbis say that if you give charity with a smile, that's infinitely more valuable than giving charity without a smile, even if it's the same amount of money. So all these little things that come up when we're out on the street or doing our errands or in the supermarket or on the bus are really, really crucial. And the Rebbe says it's really important for us to always have that in mind, that we're serving Hashem in a unified manner, meaning all the time. A second point that he goes to later in the drasha is the importance of finding a sort of your special niche in the Torah, which is a topic we've discussed, I think, pretty recently, because he talks about it in a number of diary entries in Tzav V'Ziruz that we talked about. So here he talks about it in a slightly different way. And he says it's also a really important matter of balance, because, for example, I could have a natural tendency towards learning Torah, and maybe what I need to work on then is to improve my tefillah. Or I maybe am really into davening, but my learning is shvach. It's not so strong, and I need to be putting more energy into my learning. So it's important to find a balance, but within the context of finding my unique path. And he says, we're not talking about unique paths like the Baal Shem Tov or his holy Talmidim. We're not like that. We're not in that level, of course, but that even us regular people, nonetheless, have to understand that we have a special spark and we're brought into the world by Hashem to do something special and to serve Hashem with that in mind and in that special way that's special for each and every one of us. So those are some of the themes that he's talking about going into Shavuot, having the importance of a holistic approach that realizes that at all times we're always involved in serving Hashem in whatever situation we're found in the appropriate way for that situation. And that the second thing is to realize that we have a unique way of doing that and trying to understand that and focus on it. And also to realize that that can require fine-tuning or honing so we reach the proper balance in everything we do. So I think that's, if we can work on any of those things for ourselves when we receive the Torah on the night of Shavuot this year, and in the morning when we hear the reading of the Torah in shul and reading of the giving of the Ten Commandments, that we can really internalize it with these things in mind, that'll give us a really strong entry into the rest of the year till the next Shavuot. This, reacceptance of Torah and how we apply it in our lives can be done hopefully with a very deep and proper and holy manner as appropriate to each and every one of us. So Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach, and then we have lots of good tidings called too.